I'm Ken Wampler. I'm the founder and director of the Alpha Workshops. The Alpha Workshops is a painting studio, a decorative painting studio, and a training program where we train people with HIV to do decorative arts, various aspects of decorative arts. That can be wall glazing, or a troweled finish, or gilding. We do some casting. We have a line of hand-painted wallpaper. A pretty full range of techniques used within decorative arts. HIV has a way of stealing your identity, and that if you're a creative person, I wanted Alpha to be a place where people could come and sort of reclaim their identity as a creative person. I find that handwork is tremendously engaging. People who I was working with, people living with HIV in housing, had a great deal of time on their hands and wanted to know what they were going to do with that. I enjoy creating, and I find that my energy is released most when I am doing that, and that's basically a very healthy thing to do. At Alpha, there are two main components. One is training, one is a working design studio. The training program also has two aspects. The first one being a 10-week training program where people learn surface preparation, gilding, stenciling, stamping, troweled finishes, transfer technique, history of decorative art. It's sort of a college 101, fast and furious. The second part of the training program is a 26-week advanced training where people actually become apprentices working side by side with the staff at Alpha on real work. We do a really wide range of finishes in people's homes and in businesses or restaurants. One very popular one right now is stucco veneziano or Venetian plaster. It's a troweled-on finish that creates a very lustrous and deeply colored finish on the wall. We also do traditional glazing. We do a plaster finish that is troweled on that isn't such a high gloss. We do a lot of faux finishes like faux bois, faux marbre. And we do a certain amount of gilding and something called verre éclat, which is reverse painting and gilding on glass. We've had a number of really interesting and creative and challenging jobs. One of them was working in the renovation of Gracie Mansion. Another job that we're about to begin is a very large ballroom, a 4,800 square foot ballroom, where we'll be doing murals and decorative painting on the ceiling, and we're recasting certain elements from the pilasters and the columns. So that will be very interesting. It's a ballroom built in 1913, so that'll be a lot of fun to work on. We're working in a very large limestone mansion up on Riverside Drive. Beautiful, beautiful residence, and we're doing a number of things. One of the more novel things that we're doing in that residence is a large, I guess it's about 16 by 18 foot floor cloth. It's a very interesting job. I think it's going to be a beautiful floor cloth, and it's a lot of fun to work with designers who are that creative and imaginative. The majority of our income comes through doing custom work for interior designers, high-end interior designers, architects, but we also work with individuals. We're also called upon quite frequently to do unusual things that they can't find a place to do these. We've recently done a big hanging revolving seahorse for a shoe store. We restored 2 hanging mermaids for a bar in New York City. The Alpha Workshops is a not-for-profit. And we work, we're a little bit of an unusual not-for-profit in that we bring in quite a large portion of our annual budget through the sale of our work. The way we do that is by engaging in this relationship with the business community. specifically of designers. Right now we have about 22 people working at Alpha Workshops. We train approximately 25 to 30 per year, and about half of them generally come here, go into advanced training, and then eventually become employees. We've had accountants, bakers, dancers. A lot of people, I find, come from some other form of art, very often performing arts, and somehow creativity seems to be transferable. There is a healing capacity to creative energy. And I know that because I've seen it so many times. And I can give you one instance that we had a man here who learned to weave here, and he had a weaving project that was to weave 20 yards of fabric. And he completed that project even though he had 7 hospitalizations during that project. And he would call me from the hospital and say, "It's 1 o'clock, can I still come?" And it was very clear to me how important it was to get back here and get back to work and complete that project, which he did in fact do. A job gives us a sense of place in the world, it gives us an income, it gives us an identity, it gives us pride in our work. So all Alpha does is provide a more flexible atmosphere for that to occur in, and a more understanding group of people that you work with. Our greatest success at Alpha is that we're still here 10 years later. We still have a pretty thriving decorative painting company, and we've done this at a time when the economy has not necessarily been thriving. We've done it because we've had enormous support from a very, very sensitive and caring community of foundations and the design community. And I really look forward to a second decade. We make really beautiful things, and I'm very proud of that, and I think everybody here is very proud of that. The goals that I have for the future are to grow Alpha. We could always train and employ more people. There are always lots of great things we could do. We could be working in glass, we could be working in ceramics, we could be working in rug making. There are lots of beautiful things that we could be making. And in so doing, we would be training and employing a lot of people who could find fulfillment and income and support and focus in their lives.